And we're back with another special late night underground edition of Square Table Degenerates. Today, our guest is controversial, and we'll get into maybe why he's controversial and a little bit. Comedian from parts from the jungles, Southern Illinois jungles. I think it's maybe it's Middle Illinois. I don't know. I don't do Illinois.
No, you're right. Keep going. You're 100% right.
Okay, because I've been to parts of Southern Illinois. I've been to Carbondale. I used to have a buddy. I used to have a buddy who went to Southern Illinois University. That's located. There's two of them. There's one at Edwardsville, one in Carbondale. The main campus in Carbondale. I went down there, party down there. It's a cool spot, bro. There's some cool people down there. The Salukis. Yeah. And I didn't say her name yet. Mr. Tim Loss. How are you today, sir?
Hey, thanks for having me, man, Joey. I appreciate it. Is the audio and everything all right? I'm not.
Yeah, you're good, bro. You're good, man. You were rocking.
Cool. I just wanted to make sure I'm using my wife's headset, so I just want to make sure. But yeah, dude, thanks for having me. I appreciate the time on your show, dude. You've been blowing up. A longtime fan, so it's nice to be on here.
Dude, hell yeah. You've been following us for a while. We started out a while ago, and then just kept getting bigger and grinding and hustling, and talking to people and just getting to know them, and not really, I don't really go for the drama or the negative energy. I mean, I smoke so much weed. I got so much, edibles and gummies and shit inside me that it's like it's impossible to have hate. So that's why we bring guys like you up. I'm just kidding. What's up, man?
Hey, nothing. My reputation. I'll be honest with you. Since I figured we'd get into it. 50% of what you hear is probably true, and it's because I was a young comic and I leaned into the persona I was given, the narrative, and the other 50% is jealous comics that either believe that narrative or just haven't seen me, so they hear the word on the story. That's my take on it, and I'm incredibly biased because I'm me. That's what I see, but that's just the way I see it. There is accountability to be had. And I'll be the first one to say, hey, I probably should have done that differently and all that. But I also call that shit on other people as well. And that's where it kind of gets me in trouble.
Okay. What would you say to people who say that you're a little jumpy? Like you can't take criticism well? What would you say to those critics who say those questions at you?
Wow, that's the first time I've heard. Probably true in some aspects. I'm not even going to lie. Like in jumpy in aspects, when I take it depends if you work with me. I guess there's two aspects. If you work with me I take comedy very seriously, and what I put out on anything. So I know what is funny for me and the brand, and you're a big wrestling fan. Maybe Austin Aries.
Okay.
Somewhat.
Okay.
I know who I am. I want to fucking stay in the pocket, but sometimes I go a little too overboard with it. If that's the best analogy to give, I'll be the first one to admit that. But yeah, I also, if you're like, no, that's not how it happens. No, that's exactly. I fucking know I'm going to throw my comedy dick on the table, and that's what comedy is. It's about having the biggest dick in the room. We're all comedy dick in the room. We all want to be the funniest. We all want to be the funniest on each show, be the funniest on each podcast, and that sometimes that competition brings people together, and sometimes it brings people apart.
I think the competition model destroys a lot of it, and I'll tell you why. Because I mean, you're getting people will throw up like $100 prize or whatever, say example, $100 to $500, whatever. A seemingly a lot amount for people to travel to the venue and do what they got to do. But they'll throw up a nominal amount and they'll get, 12 people to do 5 minutes, whatever, essentially free labor. Some of the guys may be funny, some may not be. But it's like an NBA salary cap situation. Like you get one guy and the rest is just whatever. And it's just such a depressing model for people. I don't know why everything has to be a competition 100%. Based.
I like that. When I was saying competition, like me and someone else on a podcast always trying to one-up each other in the jokes to be the funnier. But on the competition aspect, I agree 100%, and I'm actually booking one in October. So I'll throw the flip side on that. The flip side is for all these people I consider as a tryout. A lot of these comics I've never seen, I've heard. And for 5 minutes, I don't really want to waste that much money without proving to see if you can fucking nail it in Southern Illinois. We got a weird crowd here. Weird. We'll go into some of the stories about it. So it's a mutual thing. I want to see how, for the comics, to see how I run, see if they want to be down with it, and vice versa. And hey, I always say this: some people like soda and hate tea. You know, if they don't like my brand or what I'm doing, I'm cool with that. But I'm just being real and transparent with you up front. I don't want to be halfway down the road. You say, well, this is bullshit. Well, yeah, it's fucking comedy. It's all bullshit. Like, what the fuck you talking about? Like, we're sitting here. I'm hoping to get free bar peanuts at this show so I can make a profit. What the fuck are you talking about? Unknown comic on the flyer that has an ego all of a sudden. You know, like that's and that might be my brash, jumpy personality jumping out a little bit too, but that's just how I feel about that shit. I have no time. I'm putting up rent money to see if you're funny in fucking Heron, Illinois. You better at least give some sort of respect to the show.
Now, what would you think of the model? I mean, I consider that a lot of the mics and stuff, man, it's just like such a Cold War model. Like, there's so much opportunities. I think a lot of comics, one, they get lazy with the digital stuff. Yep. Well, two, they just don't know how to do it properly. But I think, what do you think of the concept that the whole 80s, you got to do as many mics as possible, grind it out? I mean, I look at it like this, man. I mean, if I'm in a small town, say, yeah, I'm in a pretty decent sized area. Cleveland's a decent comedy community. But, I mean, even then, it's considered really small compared to a lot of it. If you go to a lot of these mics, I've seen some of the same acts 5-10 times. And granted, they're funny comics, but by the time their shows come around, it's like I'm just tired of it. Maybe it's my just thing of repetition, but like I don't know if maybe that model is dead to me, or maybe it's just dead to me. But I just don't see the plus side or the value in driving to all these mics and telling the same 10 people, 15 people who are buried ahead in their phones. You know what I mean? I like the model of like maybe quarterly shows that I hook up and I book or something, or something for charity, obviously. But like just telling jokes to people. One, if the guy may be funnier than you, may not be funnier, who knows? But like for lack of a better term, ungrateful people at some of these mics, these open mics, or these little bringer shows. I just, man, what do you think about that? Do you think it's a dead model? Do you think it's the right model? What do you think about the model?
I think that model. Oh fuck, dude. Dude, that's a very layered question, and I like it. First of all, open mics at comedy clubs are beneficial, I think, for two people. The people just starting out that need to learn the steps of a comedy show, like the lights and how it's going to be, and people that want to perform at that club and do the politicking to do that. If you're not on that two regiments for that, then it's completely useless in my eyes. If I was going to do open mics at all, I do music open mics or mixed open mics, for the simple fact is you're going to get, it's harder crowd to get attention, which is going to help you strengthen up. And second, it's not a bunch of comics that are staring at your phone and shit like that, like you said, or waiting for you to tell a joke so they can tell it better than tag it 8 fucking different ways. It is brutal out there. You'll tell one joke about McDonald's, the next week it's exactly the same, but it's McDonald's, it's Arby's now, and it's like, oh, well, I'm not stealing. Fuck you, dude. Like, well,
I mean, is that more? We gotta get before. I'm gonna get into is that more here in a little bit. Before we get into that, Beatles or Queen? Who do you got out of those two bands?
Probably Queen.
All right, good. That's usually consensus. I think Queen's been picked more. And now is the whole joke thing just more that, like back in the day, you had different clubs, different cities. Nobody heard each other's shit. You could have a club in St. Louis. The guy could be there for 5 years. I would never hear his act. You know what I mean? But now everybody's putting their shit on Instagram. Everybody's putting their shit on TikTok. Everybody's putting on YouTube. And there's only so many different jokes that you can really do. I mean, it's like, you make a joke about titties, you make a joke about weed. I've heard so many different titties and weed jokes, and it's like they've micro niched it down so far in the comedy community. And this would be a good transition into the woke stuff, and we'll get into what I think you are in terms of the whole spectrum and what you think. Maybe we'll talk about what you think you are, or what you actually are, or something like that. But like they've narrowed it down so much. So like there's only like, for lack of whatever, straight white males can only talk about titties and porn and weed. It's the only things they can talk about. They really can't talk about titties half the time in a lot of cases, to some people, because there's a lot. Now we're getting into some stuff here. If you're not into, actual real talk, this make you a little uncomfortable, okay? But white males are quite pigeonholed in some of the comedy communities. Now you'll get up there and they will just say, "Oh, white guys suck," and this, that. "Oh, white male," that's, and it's 60% of the people in the material, even for white males, are just bashing white males, and it after a while it does get tiresome. It really does. And to think that white males aren't going to take this, it's making a lot of people frustrated because a lot of these comics just don't know what to talk about. They really don't. So first off, before we get into the spectrum stuff, like where you're on the political spectrum, what is your take on woke comedy and where people could talk about? And the original question I forgot because I was at Lambert for a minute and a half.
Comedy in general, like woke comedy, I think is buzzwords for people to do stupid shit. Like, here's what I'll say: we're all comics, and most of us don't. I hate to put it this way, we're not the most moral and ethically sound group of fucking people. So for us to, I don't know, I'm even trailing off. I got a little too stoned here. Woke comedy, to take anything we say too seriously is stupid, is what I'm trying to say like that. Like to say, so I think we need to open it up. Nothing should be said. And the crowd, and in return, if the crowd doesn't laugh, you should make that better and know that's something. This outrage of getting people canceled to make sure they don't work and all this other shit is ridiculous and doesn't last. I've been canceled every fucking Tuesday that's coming. I came to your area and got canceled. There's a comedy club that won't talk to me now. So does that stop anything? No. You keep working the next day. You just live and learn.
Is it the one that is it in a town that rhymes with Smasholin?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
It does.
Can we get into some of that? Because that may be some of the things that people think that way are controversial. I mean, you go down to a place like Crackpots, you're associated with the guy like Buff Bagwell. Let's be real. He's a nice guy, friend of the show.
Oh, very nice guy.
But he's he's not exactly lived life on the up and up. And I'm not gonna name names of people down there at the club we just said, but these people aren't usually known for being above board and a lot of this stuff. I mean, I'm not gonna say anything. They got reputations out there. Do you think any of your stuff is being associated with guys like this, or do you think it's all in your head? Do you think that there really is something out there against you? What's your take on that, bro? What's your take?
It's a fucking nice rhubarb pie of fault and blame. Like we'll talk, and each situation's different. That's what's fucking great about it. I can each tell with this situation, I'll be 100% honest. The guy's a fucking asshole. I scheduled this 3 fucking times, told him I was going to be in theater to do a show in Mount Gilead. Mount Gilead, what's up? Marrow County, up there, Capitol Theater. Love those people. Guys are fucking awesome. Ohio's amazing. But I was like, dude, I'm there Saturday. What can you do? And for free, because I was just going to be in town. I was going to work Friday and Sunday. So I got the hotel and all that. And he forgot 3 times. And finally, the week before, I was like, dude, what the fuck? And he literally said, basically, it was my fault. Fuck you. Maybe you're forgettable. And my rebuttal is, of course I'm forgettable. That's why I'm performing at your fucking lousy club. Well, and that's where I go what we call full 10. Once I don't give a fuck and the bridge is burnt, I'm burning it. Fuck them. He did respect me 1 iota. Why should I give this guy respect? Because he ran a space in an outlet mall in Northern Ohio. Ooh. He can charge you overpriced drinks and get some guy that was on Bob and Tom one time. Fuck him. Like, he needs to respect more of the traveling cops. I was traveling 8 hours on my way to give him free time, and he couldn't even respect me with just being honest. Here's the main problem I have. Just be fucking honest with me. If you're like, hey, I don't really want to book you, cool. Look at me. I can take rejection. It's the main, like, it's part of it. I'll be rather doing that than wasting my time, money, hotel deposits and all this other bullshit.
Most stand-up comics can take so much rejection. I mean, it's in the nature of the game.
Oh,
I
dude.
mean, me especially, because I'm reaching all these people. I mean, I've said many times, but for some of these bigger guys to do shows at this level, it's a favor. I mean, the guys like Tommy Chong, because on the show, it's a fucking favor. He's not going to do it because I have intrinsic value. He could go on fucking Carson Daly's podcast or fucking, Wink Wilkerson or Stuttering John Melendez and get fucking, 1,500 people watching live. Comes to Joey Edibles, he gets 80. But he just does it for the love of the game. They're doing guys like me a favor because they want to be out the fans. You know what I mean?
No, dude, you that was actually a damn good episode too. Shout out. You did really good on that one.
That was a good one, right? I love that.
Yeah, that was a fucking good
so
one.
sweet, bro. I'm always gonna have that in my back pocket. Like,
humble brag on Joey Edibles. Go back to the previous episode. Some good episodes out there if you're new to this. Some badass shit. But no, that's my thing though. I guess sometimes when I first started, I grew up in Southern Illinois. There's nothing here but cornfields. So I got shit on by every comedy scene around me. And I just got tired of traveling an hour and a half and not getting paid on a paid show or getting rejected for an open mic or all this other shit. I'm like, after a while, I just said, fuck it. I'm going to do my own route. And I've done my own bar comedy. And that's caused me in the beginning to cause, I guess, what you make somewhat an ego. Because when you're booking 20 shows 2 years in, you're like, dude, I got this fucking figured out. And you don't. And I had to learn.
You bit off too much more than you could chew. I mean, this begs in a question, like, why don't you just move to Chicago or move to New York or move to any big city, because Kansas City, anything with the bigger towns. I mean, you're trying to build Studio 54 in fucking Billings, Montana. It's just not going to work in some aspects. I'm playing devil's advocate with that statement, but what are your thoughts on why didn't you move it to begin with? I mean, you're getting into comedy in the middle of nowhere. What's up with that?
Yeah, that's a very valid point. Very valid. Quick, I was idealistic. I really thought with everything St. Louis and with all working us together, like Ohio, as you said, we're technically the term's called the flyover state. So I thought, why don't we all network together? And when someone flies over, they get maybe a guy right on the cusp or something. We can all network. Then we can all rotate gigs all through the Midwest so we don't wear out our welcome and oversaturate the market. The problem is it's hard to work with other comics and get on the same page. Even myself, I will even throw myself in there. Something always seems to happen. And egos, flyers. It gets into a weird fucking poster situation. Well, I'm so and so. Don't you know I need to be on the far left of the flyer? I was like, I don't. I'll tell my wife next time. Or my name's Cash Money Carl, not Cash Carl Money. Who gives a say your real goddamn name? No one gives a fuck. God damn it. And that would be the stuff that pisses me off. Maybe I'm just another disrespectful club owner. That's what it is. Maybe that's why I hated that motherfucker. We're just two alike. And that's what two ends of the same magnetic field. We were going to butt heads. But another thing, was some shows. I worked at a theater that gave me a $3,000 budget, then pulled it to $500 3 nights before the show.
At that point, had you already promised payments to people?
Oh yeah. It fucking ruined me. It ruined me. I told people I had to cancel and shit. The other comics that worked the show. This is how bad it was. Before this all happened, they fucking said they would do the flyer, and I hate when I like to control as much as I can, because if you give a theater, you think they'd be respectful. They superimposed a 70-year-old woman's face on a bikini model as promotional material. She was fucking pissed. And I'm sitting here I told them to take it down twice. I have the screenshots, but you're the booker. You're the guy in the middle. You got to take the blame and shit. So that's what happened, a few things. I could tell you about the fight in McLeansboro to Gary Becker. That's been pretty good news there. That was a good time.
Well, what was, I don't hear many comics, but what was the deal with Becker? It's, I saw the thing that says he labels himself the rebel of comedy. What is that? Is that just
first of all
to work with, or what's up with that?
First of all, I labeled him that. I'm the moniker. I was trying to book him. I'm all about trying to put monikers and build people up in Southern Illinois. to make you bigger than comedy, if that makes sense. Like comedy brings people in, but I want them to remember your name as much as possible. It helps me as a promoter because then I could bring you around. What happened with him was rule one in production: never work with a white guy with dreads. And I broke that rule twice in my life, and it's almost got me killed twice. And I'm not. That's no hyperbole. Like, oh, really? No, I almost fucking died twice because of these fucking assholes. More recently, we were at an American Legion, and this 4-foot MMA midget, Gary Becker, who looks like the side of a fucking train, graffitied out, was out there. I love this man to death, but his favorite thing to do is to take a whole bunch of LSD before he goes on to perform. I don't suggest you do this. But Gary Becker does Gary Becker shit. So you just hope for the best. Well, there's a heckler out there. And Gary made it like uncertain terms. I'm going to beat the fuck out of you after the show.
Oh,
but I'll perform my show first. But after this, I'm going to beat the shit out of you. Gangster if you're in a John Woo movie. Horrible if you're in a comedy show. Out of town in a good old boy territory. Because here's what happened. That guy called 4 of his friends. And they were sitting there. Here's Gary. We already knew kind of what's happening. I give Gary his payment. He runs to the car. I tell him to run to the car. You know, I got to tear down the equipment. The guy follows him out there. And before shit was even said, Gary Becker sticks him and fights him. And now there's a brawl going on outside because he knocked that one guy out, apparently. I don't know. Let's wait for the police. I was tearing down shit. This is what I heard. There's a fight outside. God damn it. I turned back around. There's a fucking gun, which I know that's already bad news. And then I run outside to follow that. And Gary Becker's now on a high-speed fucking chase through Selling, Illinois as 2 cops are going down. The other cop runs into the bar, yanks the thing off their bar license off the wall and says they're shut down, get the fuck out, which would be fine. I would want to leave, but Gary Becker's my fucking ride home. And I'm stuck in McLeansboro, who doesn't even have a fucking hotel room or street lights for that matter. And look at me. I might have a warrant. I don't want to talk to the fucking cops either. You know, like, so all this shit's going down. I have to fucking get a ride from these people that were at the show that looked like 2 Budweiser frogs. They were ridiculous. One was cross-eyed driving in the middle of it was the night of Gary gets away free. Now I'm known as the shows that you can almost get your ass beat on.
What kind of fucking huge night bullshit are you guys out there doing, bro? Jesus Christ, this is ridiculous.
Usually you don't insult the crowd and then fight them outside. You know, if they don't like you, you go, hey, that's my time, and you leave and get paid. You don't. I was outside. They didn't like me either. I was outside making fucking paper airplanes.
Nice.
I was like sometimes here's another thing people will always say. You're not a good comic. Some crowds, you just need to work the crowd. Fuck that. A drunk crowd in Southern Illinois watching a NASCAR Craftsman truck race that really cares about it don't give a fuck about comedy night. They don't want you there. So you do your time and hope you don't offend people and get the fuck out. We didn't do any of that.
All right, before we get to the next question, do you like the Blues Brothers?
Yeah. Only Blues Brothers 2000, though.
Blues Brothers 2000 was one of the stupidest movies. I actually saw that in the theater, actually, in 97. I remember that movie. I had such high expectations for it, and it was such a shit musical. Aretha was in it. It was probably the only cool thing. That was probably
that was about it.
Damn, okay, I totally forgot what the next question I was going to ask you was. What were you were talking about before? Was Becker
just crazy fucking?
Oh, I know what I was going to do. I know what I was going to do. The whole meetup idea with comics and stuff. I mean, dude, with gas at this is why I say the Cold War model is dead a little bit because like. That sounds wild. Cold War comedy. That'd be a great fucking ending farewell old style tour. Name Cold War comedies go out fucking town to town. But like, you know, bringing like say I wanted to I want to do Chicago and St. Louis and this and that. That's a lot of fucking gas money.
Well, coming to Chicago, Cincinnati.
I could go to one place a month, 2 places a month, but you know, somebody like me, you know, I got a regular job. I got money committed, so I could afford to do that. But would I even make money off of that? Probably not. It'd be like $4 an hour at the end of the day, unless I'm getting $500, $600, $700.
I can tell you the fourth wall break. I actually was telling this today with the rising cost of everything. Stand-up comedy traveling follows musicians. If you checked out musicians on metal, because that's even kind of more on the independent scene. These guys are running labels, not RCA or fucking shit like Ferret. I don't know what Ferret label is, but if you're a metal fan, you do, and shit like, or Napalm Records. These people touring make their money on tours, and they can't make money because gas, lodging, or even trying to get a tour bus is ridiculous. Now, put that even on a smaller scale like me, on a level, I traveled to Ohio and I made negative $50. That's what happened. And that was because I booked it back when gas was decent. When all that changed, my profits went. Airbnbs are either scary or expensive as fuck. I will never go to another Hotel 6. I don't care what Yelp rating it is. I'll tell you, fuck Clarksville, Indiana. I moved into, you pull around and you haven't seen it, it has good review. Oh, it's decent, like 3 stars. Look at my teeth. They're 3 stars all day. I should be able to fit in. Pull around, I fit in too fucking well. I moved into a neighborhood, a fucking trailer park stacked almost on top of each other. And what actually happened was it was a refuge for COVID homeless people during that. And homeless people, so they all lived there. Didn't realize that till afterwards. And it was one of the most enduring, terrifying. So I don't do hotel rooms unless I have to. I like to sleep. So just that, expenses are fucked. So you're 100% correct. If you travel with 3 comics, which is at least a decent show, you could do with 2, but you need to outsource when you get to local. And that's a whole different game. Funny shit, right? But no, if you go there, it's just not going to work. You're 100% correct. This happened to metal bands and everything else. And let's be honest, look at this face. I can't charge. I have a roof. A limit at how much I can fucking charge, no matter where I go. That's hard for some comics to say. Like comic 2 years in that's traveled thinks, oh yeah, they could pay me $1,000 in Ohio. Why would they fucking do that? You're fucking insane.
There's so many people, dude. I mean, it's like I'll see some of these flyer lists of shows that are here. Like
you got some great fucking talent there too.
No, it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Ohio's
they're running this show. Marla DeMarchi, I think her name is running the show at the 6 Comedy Festival, 6 City Comedy Festival, whatever it's called. And there's I know that the headliners, it's a typical Cleveland show headliners, Mary Santora, Bill Squire, etc. They get the same stock 5 people who headline every show. But it's like I look at the list, and I mean, I know 1 or 2 people just because I'm friends with them, but like there's just like 40, 50, 60 names on there. I don't recognize the fucking one of them. And
I will tell you,
these are the same people who are probably out there like, oh, yeah, I demand 500. It's like if nobody knows you if you can walk down the regular mall and nobody's stopping you, you probably don't need to be charging more than the minimum wage of comedy. I mean, it's what it is.
I sell comedy shows based on the profit margin of the venue and ticket price and my average ticket price. Does that sound funny? No, it's a fucking business. The comedy owner's not going to watch your fucking set. He's not even going to be there that night 90% of the time. He will next time if you make him a whole bunch of fucking money. But the first time, he don't give a shit. You're just at whatever, DJ. DJ Tom Ross is going to be playing some music. Oh, it's comedy? Erase the chalkboard. We need to advertise lately. Like, that's how, so that's the way I look at it. But you keyed on to something. If all my haters were out there wanting to get rid of me, it's very simple. There's one simple. Stop promoting the same 5 fucking guys all the time. There won't be a need for me and other comics to go look out for other stages out in the cornfield or use the independent shows like me if you actually rotate and use the talent that you have. The only reason I'm in business the way I am is because I'm an alternative to comics who can't get the time at open mics, at clubs, and the shit they need to spread your wings. Getting a 7-minute plus set's damn near fucking impossible. And I'll give out 10 or 15 just to see what you can do. Like I can't offer tons of money, but I can offer time for you to grow a set in front of a crowd. And if that's more valuable than some things, then we could work together in some areas. business. You know,
what is like your minimum standard? I mean, do you like be like, hey, I gotta see you on YouTube, I gotta talk with you, or do you just throw somebody up if they come to you? What's your standard there?
I don't have one. Well, here's your first. You get a tryout. I have a show. You'll perform for free. So therefore, I have
Oh
free
yeah.
expectations. If you come and waste your time, and you know what? I know that sucks performing for free and shit. I've done it. Everything does it. And with gas prices, it is. I don't necessarily follow that model. I at least try to get you gas money, but you're not guaranteed a certain payment like the features. I'll give you 25, $30, or I'll tell you, hey, you're 4 hours out. You probably shouldn't do this show. You know, you're not going to make money. I'll be real with you. Or, hey, this town's got 350 people and half of them are Amish. This may not be a profitable journey for you. Are you still wanting to do this shit? You know, type things. So that's where it comes out. I offer, if people in St. Louis, Kentucky, and all this actually rotated the talent that they do have, they wouldn't be going to me as much. And that's the facts of it. And without that, I don't have a 2 hour act, and comedy doesn't work well with one act. I've tried to do it with one act, just talking up there. You almost need an intermission, and it's really hard because it's like a same voice. I think comedy works best when you have multiple voices on a show. You get a different outlet for everyone out there. Everyone gets involved. You have different rhythms, different beats, and it really makes a good fucking show.
Do you think this is a young man's game? You think we're too old for this? I mean, I
I
think
know
you're in your 30s, right? Right, 30s?
Yeah, I'm in my 30s. I'm
Okay,
35.
well, 35. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm way older than you, actually. I'm 45. But,
Oh,
I
shit.
mean, if you most comics, the standard model is you get out of college, you did a couple of mics in college, you liked it, you go out for a couple of years, after college, because that's where you get all the dating jokes and shit like that. It's no clue that, or no secret that we're all family men. You got a day job, I'm assuming you sold insurance or some shit, who cares? But, is this a young man's game, dude? I mean, we're out there, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna sleep on nobody's couch. If I do a mic, I'm gonna lose money probably at this point, until I bring value, because, I'm going to get me a nice hotel. It's going to be a fun party. I'm probably going to spend a lot of money on weed. Just have more of a fun trip. Yeah, I mean, so it's just so, if you just break down the pure numbers of people who actually, get to that level. I say that level to where you can get $5,000 a month doing stand-up after expenses, no matter what. It's so minuscule compared to the people who try out in it. And it's hard to tell people that, because a lot of times you'll get enabled by a mic. Like, oh yeah, I was on the same mic as a person who's on the radio. It's like, you're just in the same bar. It didn't really mean anything. You know what I mean?
People in St. Louis, sometimes big, like Nikki Glazer will come through because she's there, or they'll come and stop in their club on an open mic, and people have used that as a credit. I got to open up for Nikki Glazer. I got to open up for Catholic. You didn't open up for shit. You made the list at an open mic. Fucking right. But they don't know that. They're going to put it on a fucking flyer. Is it a young man's game? 100%. I think when you're up there, if you're 20 to 27, I think everyone wants to hear your opinion and observation. Just because of our age and a few other things, we're immediately like, yeah, whatever, dad, or whatever. We're already, so it takes a little bit of work to get the crowd to even get on your side a little bit. But I'll be honest, yeah, and that it also disconnect. It's harder for me to make the younger generation laugh. Maybe because I'm getting older, I'm not understanding, but I do notice that the people my age, I'd say 25, 35, get anyone 18 to 25, who the fuck is this guy? And that's a problem. That's something I got to write, because that's the generation that's going to keep going and watching, that stuff. And I'm not connected with them, but I do believe it's like we're not a voice sought after in the comedy world, so we have to speak even louder. And that's nothing wrong about it. I'm not saying, oh, poor me, or it's just my observations,
Well, people want to live vicariously through comedians too. If somebody comes up there, I always joke the joke I have, and it wasn't really a joke, per se, but more the observation I had on a lot of like women comedians. I try not to use the word female because if you use the word female, you get typecasted. Oh, this guy's an incel Trumper. For one, I never voted for Donald Trump. I've always said you look back at my Facebook history, okay, if you want to know my political views. But like they'll typecast you as a white guy if you say what would I say before that? I'm so fucking stoned. God damn it, Tim. I forgot what I said fucking 3 sentences ago. I was gonna make a good statement.
You were talking about your jokes that you don't about women you used to start out with.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's like once a female comedian gets married, nobody, she's off the market. Nobody wants to fuck her. They're not gonna laugh at her jokes if they're not funny. So the fucking, the market goes down so much. Like 60% of their laughs are gonna go. 60% of their laughs, for lack of a better term, are gonna go away. Like literally nobody wants to hear mom diaper changing jokes. They don't, bro. So it's like that's a serious disadvantage for women comedians, bro. It really is. It seriously is, man. It's like that's why it's such a young person's game. You watch the young, beautiful comics, it's. I think. What do you think about the thing of like people? They're so self-deprecating. Like they get up on stage and their whole act is, "I know what you're thinking. A pile of puke had sex with the whale, and then your mom shit, and that's me." Stuff like that. Like it's just so self. It's depressing. Some of these guys that get up there. And they'll have like a funny mustache or wear a fucking hat that nobody wears, like a fedora or whatever. Just it's like, why are you doing this to yourself? This is harming you physically and mentally. What do you think about that, bro?
Oh my god, I know one guy. Oh man, he looks like a fucking Kenny Rogers midget. I'm sorry, Kenny Rogers little person. I don't want to offend people out there. A little person, Kenny Rogers. He's a comic and he goes around with a pink guitar and he does 5 minutes about plucking a pink hole and strumming a pink guitar. It's prop comedy about the guitar. And the whole time I'm looking at it, I'm like, dude, stop. Like, you can do more. I actually fall into self-deprecating too much. What you got to do is you got to switch it up. It's okay to self-deprecate if it's a persona where you maybe switch it up and you win. Switch it. Don't make you a fucking loser. You're not Kevin Smith and King of Queens. You don't need 5 seasons of people pity laughter. Get real laughter. If it's all about how shitty your home life is, spin it. Spin a story where you win or where you twist it on. So you're not the fucking loser all the time. Or throw the harsh reality about it in, because that's the funniest thing, the harsh reality, completely blunt. But don't let it like, hey, but I'm not fucking, like, make it look like, oh, poor me. It's sometimes about delivery, and shit like that. I sometimes start out, I know the way I look. Sometimes I start out to break that ice. So then I have leeway. I've already made fun of myself. I acknowledge this. So if this heckler's talking shit, this cousin fucking bottom bitch over here, I could go into him pretty hard. And I get that leewance to the crowd because I've already knocked myself down. I'm not this arrogant out of town comic that's like, hey, I'm gonna tell these motherfuckers what's a thing or two, which does work for Chevy Chase looking motherfuckers. Doesn't work with the guy who's in most horror movies going, you don't belong around here. Certain expectations have to be met first, and then I gotta circumvent that. Is my opinion. Is that if that makes sense?
That's so true. That's so true. I mean, God damn it, I'm fucking stoned. Yeah, thanks for super chatting me, guys, because I got really stoned.
Shout out to Serge out there. I remember Serge from back at the Idiot Says What days and shit.
Do you remember Joseph Grohl? He was saying he ain't seen in a hot minute. He said, doing good, Tim. It says, hello, Tim Loss. Woo! Joe Grohl goes,
oh, it's been a while, man, dude. What's up, man?
Hell yeah.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, we are rocking here on a beautiful Friday evening with Mr. Tim Loss live here on YouTube, smoking weed, token. Now, damn it, I had another follow-up on that line that we were just talking. What was the last topic we were talking about? We were talking about what?
Young Man's Game, comedy, and shit, dude. I need to take better notes.
There was something down that line I was going to ask. This is usually I write down a question. Some people are like, because I always talk about show prep and you got to prep for every show. A lot of it's just because I get so baked that I don't want to forget the fucking things. And sometimes people are asking questions in the chat, so it goes. But like me and you have never been on like Titanic, or we've never been an extra in fucking Law and Order SVU. So like, all we talk about is like scuzzy bars and shit. But I don't know, man. What do you like? Do you like doing it? I mean, do you ever get to the point where you're like, why am I doing this? I mean, I'm assuming you got to otherwise pay the bills, and you have a family, so it's like you got to at least.
Well, to be honest, I'm Mr. Mom and Michael Keaton and Mr. Mom, but I fucking hate Michael Keaton movies if they're not Batman. So here's what happens. My wife is a very successful nurse. So I sit at home and keep my hands moisturized by doing laundry, cleaning up, walking our 2 dogs, taking care of my 12-year-old. And then I do part-time work when I'm not doing stand-up comedy. Any profits from stand-up comedy go into our bank for Christmas, as well as the one rule in stand-up comedy, I must at least break even. If I don't break even on a show, then I sleep on the couch. And I'm not that funny to afford a comfortable couch, so I try to not get that that's our mutual agreement. So I continue to do comedy if it's not a detriment to the family and our budget. I fucking love that. Captain White, they still use that, by the way. We'll get to talk about that later. So yeah, that's the way I look at the whole fucking situation. I do have a job, and it's cooking and being there for my family and stuff, and as well as part-time. I was working the bartender jobs. I do some cash jobs on the side. I'm your original old Southern Illinois dirtbag. I got some aluminum cans out back that I'm recycling. It's just what I do.
So you're the girl Becky would have dated in fucking Roseanne, basically, the one that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, with a little mixture, but I wasn't that tough. So I wrote poetry. So I was a mixture of the twins put together, which is awful. That means I had a weight problem. Wrote poetry. That was my pickup line in high school. Do you know I'm a published poet? You smell like cheese. Get the fuck away from me.
My shit was bad in high school, dude. I would use shit because dude, I got so caught up in the whole Dr. Dre bitches ain't shit thing. Because I'm 45, so back when I was in high school, like 91, 92, man, that whole gangster rap thing popped, and man, the way they talked about women, you just thought, oh yeah, this is crazy. This is how you gotta do. And I would say we would just joke, and it's funny when it's getting chicks and hollering at girls and stuff is all about mindset. Like if you go into it expecting something, you're gonna completely fail. But back then I would just be so outlandish, but it would be ridiculous. I'd say shit like, "This dick isn't gonna suck itself," and shit like that. That was one of the original lines. I know it's been repeated before, but I was one of the first people to say that. I guarantee it. And I was actually really funny back in high school. Dude. I was a fucking funny fuck. But I just didn't know how to focus it all in and bring it all in, you know what I mean? Yeah. And then all my experiences over the years in the Guard, and just talking with people here or there, failed relationships here, travel here, get to know people here. Over the years, I've gotten to the point where I do want to get back to doing the mics. I do want to get back out there, but it's gonna be something I organize, I believe, because I mean, I got the money to finance to where I can say, hey, here's so much extra X dollars. I want to sell tickets at your venue. You know what I mean? And then I rent out the place, and then we sell tickets and make the money back, etc.
I would just, I would just throw it out there. I'd just do it in your backyard, film it out for your YouTube.
Yeah. I mean, I could do that here in the garage, honestly.
Yeah. Why not? Get a few people like that. That'd probably be better and less overhead, because the more people you get involved in, somehow it's more people you gotta fucking deal with. That's like you were saying earlier. I hate producing shows. Love comedy. For me and my persona that I built, for me to keep doing comedy, I gotta produce my own shows. So it's a double-edged sword. So that's why I tell the people that roll with me now that are younger, don't do some of the shit I do. Don't go full Tim Loss. You don't want. Hey, if someone pissed you off, say, be professional. I know it's weird in comedy. We're outspoken shit on stage, but behind stage, you have to follow a strict memo apology etiquette format. You can never call bullshit out. You can't do this. You can't do that. And I didn't realize that when I first started, because I called out everything. And after a while, you turn into white noise, or as a narrative a piece of shit in some aspects. But dude, when I first started, I was going to open mics. I had the fucking MC trying to show his cock to my wife. And then when I finally said something about it online, I had so many people saying, yeah, he's been doing it for years. He's been doing it for years? So what the fuck is wrong with you? So I flipped out.
Well, did
and
he have
I
a nice
lost a
cock
lot
or
of
did he have-
respect.
was it a nice cock or what though? I mean, what was
I don't know. I knew I'm an old school dirtbag. I know the moves. You're like, why are you calling my wife at 2:30? Oh, it's the wrong number. You're a state away. What the fuck are you talking? And it just gets weird. I was like, dude, she doesn't want to see. Maybe she does. Are you serious right fucking now? And then he wouldn't. They do this shit where they disrespect me because what am I going to do about it? Well, when I see you, you'll fucking know. But right now, I'll just see if anyone else is having problems with you showing your shit around. And apparently, yeah, that's why I lose like this is the woke shit pisses me off because the same people that scream the loudest, like, oh, TJ Miller's blah blah blah. We're standing in line for that motherfucker, looking at his dick, going, oh, that's cool. Can I get 5 minutes? Because that's what their fucking morals lie. They'll sell anyone down the river for 5 minutes at a fucking funny bone.
Well,
is it next to the Payless?
Did this booker show the guy who shows his dick? Is he still down there working that job?
No, actually, 150 comments later, he said he was going to go suicidal or something and left the scene. Now I heard he works as an Uber in St. Louis. So,
nice.
Yeah.
That seems to be a popular job amongst the comics, like just the ones who don't have like standard careers or whatnot.
That seems about right.
Uber a lot, and then this DoorDash too. I don't. So basically, we're just doing favors for friends for money. I mean, why can't we just do this ourselves? It's wild. If I posted on Facebook, hey, can somebody take me to the store for $15? They'd be like, why would you do this? I'll just give you a ride for free. But they'll pay a stranger to do it for, what I mean? What the fuck?
I hired an Uber comic to travel around. I don't have a fucking license. So it's really hard to be a traveling comic without a license. So I always, I latched onto one comic that I knew I was super funnier than it. And it was just a good enough hurdle where he could keep the crowd entertained for 7 minutes and I come and slay him, knock him down, type shit. So I was like, yeah, come down, drive me to places. And he was used to doing that in his fucking day job anyways. So, yeah, I sound like a douche. All the shit is true. All the shit.
Right. Well, you can't drop a nugget like that, and I have to ask. You say you don't have a driver's license. Did you have one at one time? You just never got one? What's the deal there?
Had one at one time. The state of Illinois and the police department have decided that maybe I shouldn't drive for a while, so that we've gotten together.
Hey, I've had 3 DUIs myself. I can relate. It's no problem. No issues here.
It was just, see, here's my thing. I don't believe in insurance. They do, and in the state of Illinois, they revoke your license. And I've actually had 3 no insurance, so many suspended license tickets. I'm not a good driver either. So I'm the mixture of the stupid. I'm this close to being on an episode of Cops and filling my destiny and family because I'm an awful driver. I'm always carrying something I shouldn't. I panic easy, and I'm a horrible driver. I'm surprised I haven't been on one yet, but.
Well, this explains doing shows in the local area why you haven't went out to like an hour and a half away. I mean, if you're not don't have a driver's license, that's a risky fucking bot. I mean, if you go like say you had a show in Missouri, bro, like in Kansas City or something, and like you're driving out there and you get pulled over, bro.
I got a show at a gay bar called The Locker Room in Joplin, Missouri. Because when you think gay bar, it's this face here. I can't wait to tell them about my heterosexual lifestyle for an hour. This is going to be a great time.
I bet a gay audience, an all gay audience would be fucking fun, dude. Gay
it's going to be fun. I'm nervous because I read something from a gay comic, and she said a gay crowd doesn't want to hear about your straight lifestyle. And I was like, I started looking over my set. I was like, well, fuck, I'm going to be talking about a lot of drugs. And I didn't know this going in, so I booked a youth pastor. turned comic. So we got a youth pastor turned comic, and the guy who looks like me. Just insert your whatever you want. It's probably accurate. Going to the air, and in my head, I know I'll do fine, but I think I'm overthinking it because of what's in comedy. I don't want to go out there and offend anyone, but I don't just by telling jokes about my family and shit. That's how sketchy shit's got. You can tell a joke right now. It's like, hey, your wife looks like G.I. Jane, and this guy's gonna fucking punch you or something like that. Yeah, and I've seen. You can ask Gary Becker. 4 people fought him afterwards and shit. And I've heard this has happened more and more. So it's not now. I have different policies in booking a show. We're all seated next to the exit. I try to talk to the venue and tell them we need some sort of security. If anyone's heckles, they need to be more proactive and kick them out, or at least move them away from us. And we need to be paid somewhere at the beginning or middle of the show so I can pay the acts in case shit goes down. They're paid and they can get out immediately. So I have to learn my lessons in this shit, but I never thought that was going to happen. You know, it's the first I've heard of comedy shows. But hey, I was viral in the comedy circuit for a little bit. That was Gary Becker loved it. He's like, dude, I beat up the whole town. I was like, no, they kicked your fucking ass, dude. And he's suing the American Legion. I just like, so now I might get countersued. So I'm just like, never work with a white guy with dreads. I'm just telling.
Well, I mean, if you just want to exclude dreads, period. I'm just kidding. You don't want to get racial with that. But I always joked about tattoos. People are like, oh, I got these tattoos. Doesn't mean I'm a bad person. It's like, well, I've never met a felon without tattoos. I mean, they all got tattoos. Not all people with tattoos are felons, but all felons have tattoos.
That's well, yeah, but also here's how I rank felons. I'll be straight up. I give you some packages of ramen noodles and see how many fucking ingredients you put in that son of a bitch, or what you turn it into. If you turn that into a TikTok burrito with a sauce, then I know you've done some hard fucking time. And I ain't going to fuck with you. You know, if you make that normal style and just throw in maybe like a hard-boiled egg, oh, fuck you, what's up? Like, what's up? You're just a minor thief. What's going on? We've all hit hard times. But if you're sitting there making a fucking TikTok and it's busting at the end, you've done some shit. You know some recipes.
Hey, I'll tell you what, bro. The family doesn't like it too much because they like the standard ramen noodles. But man, if you take, they call it, my buddy Bobby used to do all the time to show me how to do it. They called it a breakdown. That's what he called it. I don't know what they call it in different states.
Slam.
Slam is what you can call it. Okay. Well, they basically just, I drain out all the water, get just the noodles. And I'm paranoid on noodles. I overboil every noodle I encounter. I'm over paranoid. I cannot stand undercooked noodles. But then I do that, and I just take, the standard sauce, obviously, the chicken powder or whatever. And I'll take like some mayonnaise, and I'll throw some cheese in there, and then some. There's 5 different things. Oh, it's just so good. It's a carb nightmare. I mean, it's carb hell. So you can't do it all the time. But my gosh, that is good shit, bro.
I used to throw a can of chili and jalapenos on the top of it.
Oh, barbecue burritos too. Hell yeah.
Oh yeah. Dude. I knew. Hey, we're talking some shit. Joey Knuckles knows what's going down. But yeah, you know it gets real good when someone starts making chili ramen noodles and like bust out the tortillas. Oh shit! We're going emerald up in here. You know what's going down? Some fucking chili ranch tacos.
Yeah, man. I think Prison Cooking would be a great fucking show. Oh, that would be a fucking like a channel. Like it'd have to be legit. Like I couldn't do it because I never did hard time. But if you had somebody do like whatever, and they were good. The cook at their prison, and people came to, that'd be fucking, that shit would kill.
There is a guy on YouTube, and he starts out with every show. I think his name's D Beezy or something weird, but he starts out every show going, "Yo, Bunky, I'm looking to make some ice cream or whoopie pie," and the guy's like, "Let me get you some of your grub from lunch," and you'll see all the ingredients, and he makes it in front of you, and afterwards he'll drink a bussin', and I'm like, "Oh, dude, this is home. That feels like home to me, dude. Like that's most of my family members I saw seasonally growing up, and with different tattoos coming in." Yeah, like why do you like this instant coffee so goddamn much? Like you just eat it out of the pouch. Like this is hardcore shit. Like, but yeah, those are. So I don't know. Maybe that's some of my old culture. It just reminds me of home in the trailer park when I was like under 10. I was raised very. I wouldn't say like a little bit of George Thorogood mixed in with Travis Tritt and The Hills Have Eyes. That would probably be the best analogy.
Well,
Not a good movie, but
my one friend, my buddy Mike, who lives down in Dallas now, but the guy who lived in Carbondale, he went out with a girl at the time, and her name was Crystal. But she lived from like some town like you're describing, just like that. And she's like, my town had Klan rallies as late as 1993. I was like, you fuck it, 93? They're having Klan rallies? Like, it's a little late in the game to be having people out there in hoods saying they don't like other people.
You want to talk real? Can we
yeah.
talk real on here?
Yeah, do it, bro.
That's why I told people like it's a different area here, man. It really is. Like I have no fear, but has racism came to my shows? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it has, and here's why. Like, we'll just throw the earliest example I can speak of. You can look it up. Flora, Illinois. We did I guess a lady tried. One girl decided to do a Black Lives Matter protest when that was happening. That's when it came out that Flora was still a sundown town. And that turned into a big deal. If you don't know what sundown town is, it basically means if you're a minority and you're in that town after sundown, shit gets a little crazy for you, and they make sure you don't come back one way or another. And it's about as heinous and fucking scary as it sounds. And yes, this shit still happens. It still happens around here, man. I could give you a poster like look up Anna, Illinois. ANNA. There's an acronym for that that's fucking notorious. Thank you guys. It's Southern Illinois. They think you hear Illinois and you're out of state. Chicago, Democratic state. That's only at the tippy top. We're a fucking mullet the rest of the way down. Hardcore mullet with a very checkered history. And definitely one of that. That's why I kind of gravitate to Centralia. It's more, I feel like, the melting pot of Southern Illinois. It's about as tolerant maybe as you can get in Southern Illinois, and we still have our problems.
And a little known fact about the state of Illinois, the S is silent. Now, how annoying is that to you as an Illinoisan, call yourselves, when people say that S? To me, I lived in Illinois for like 5 years. Still drives me up a wall when people say the S. How annoying is that shit, bro?
I guess what's crazy is I don't hear that many people talk about the state anymore. So like when it does come up, it's just like your governor, and they don't even say the state. I'm like, oh shit, I already know what you're talking about. Yeah, he's been in jail quite a bit. Illinois governors, the last 8 have went to federal prison.
Wasn't Blagojevich? Was it Blagojevich? You guys
yeah, but if you look back, Ryan went to federal prison. The only one that hasn't is our last one before Pritzker. But everyone else has went to federal jail. We were on fucking The Daily Show. We made news, the non-good news there for how much. So it sucks because if you wanted to know, I am a registered Democrat, but I live in Illinois.
That was going to be my next question. I was going to say your leanings, I would say, are kind of libertarian-ish, but you're probably like me. Like, I mean, the libertarian ethos isn't really. It's the only reason it's there and prevalent is because it's like the only viable third party at this time because nobody else is there to vote for. Like the actual ethos, you can't like totally defund everything and have, just money go back to the people. The economy would collapse. And we have a socially network-based economy. People are dependent on certain things. Yeah,
I'm even more nihilistic than that. I feel if you're going to be anything but the two parties, then you're playing checkers while everyone else plays chess. Because the reality is you won't make a difference. And that's just because how our system's set up. Until things actually change there, it is set up for a two-party system. And the third party is just for the spoilers. And for the spoilers out there to say, well, hell, at least I didn't vote for these guys. And it's like, no, we're all kind of dumb that we're still playing the system. But you do get it's the scapegoat vote, in my opinion. It's like, these guys, you get to say, I know it's a fucking sham. That's why I'm voting for this guy type shit. It's called the Ross Perot effect for you other people out
Ross
there.
Perot was on his way to win. If he would have dropped out of that race that first time and would have went double down on a couple things, he could have won. And he had some policies to where he was going to wipe out the budget deficit. Can you imagine Perot would have been elected and eliminated the budget deficit by the year 2000, which would have happened because we would have had no budget like that. The whole fucking thing would have been gone because with the economy boomed in the 90s and they had a budget surplus. And if you read back Perot's policies, he fucking had the ones in that would have just killed the whole budget deficit. I mean, the gas would have been $5 a gallon. Look at us now. Gas is already $5 a gallon.
Why? Right? I'll throw it out there. Maybe I don't know. I don't. Well, fuck. Maybe Trump was maybe not the best. I won't say bad example, best example, but I do believe in some aspects that a businessman running our government isn't necessarily a bad thing. In some aspects, especially at the president level, to think that we're not completely monetized and at every fucking aspect of our life at this point is unrealistic. So to try to get this capitalistic economic society back to, I don't know, maybe not hemorrhaging debt could be more beneficial than anything else. That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, it's shallow, fucking awful, but that alone might offset all the fucking hate and get this shit going. Because when people are working and people are fucking happy, we don't have time to sit on Twitter and fight as much as we're fucking.
Oh yeah, well that's very true. You could have tied some of that in. I think the only problem with the businessman in this, he's going to make just rash decisions, without considering. Capital welfare and ingrained sunken benefits when it comes to like Social Security and shit like that. I mean, the fact remains, everybody over a working age, whatever that defined age is, 60, 65, 70, whatever, those guys are not going to be able to work again. Yeah, that's a sunken cost that the government has to take into account. The majority of those people are Medicare, Medicaid, et cetera. They're on Social Security. So whatever we're doing that now, that has to go forward in the other budget. And if a businessman comes in, so we're going to cut everybody on who's under 60, government workers, a lot of us, I'm a government worker. Am I the best government worker I could be all the time? I don't know, probably not. But it's like, it's such a different style of work when it comes to certain things. In process improvement, they just throw so much money at stuff. I mean, the bureaucracy is so much run amok to where you need to, like, somebody coming in would have to understand the process improvement and realize that there's code changes that need to happen, like serious U.S. code changes. Like, for example, when they're tearing down a building, I talked about this earlier on the Blake show, but like, they'll take planes right from the fucking, production facility right to the plane graveyard, and they just keep making more tanks and doing this and that. And it's like, where's all this weapon from? We talk about getting rid of that Cold War economy mindset. We got to get rid of that Cold War economy mindset, and the Great Reset needs to happen, because if not, I mean, we're going to keep voting for these same people, and it's going to get us nowhere. It's getting us nowhere. It gets us worse. It just keeps getting more and more. And, we keep arguing, like you said, arguing on Twitter about stupid shit. And that's fun. I mean, it's fun arguing with people, getting different experiences. But when people, it's all they obsess about, and then they block everybody who has a different viewpoint than them, it's not getting nothing done.
Maybe that's the key to all this. The things that are changing, we never throw it in because it's been so ingrained to our life. But remember when there wasn't social media, Joey? Do you remember those glorious times, And now I just don't think as society we understand how to work social media or the etiquette. Because it started as just a fucking... I grew up, nothing in the chat room's real. So it's weird that people take now this new generation so serious on the internet. When I grew up going, that guy ain't fucking real. That chick's definitely, like, remember the Napster chat rooms and shit? Everyone dating everyone and everyone being 25 and good looking and looking like Angelina or Brad Pitt. None of that shit was real.
Nope.
But we all knew it going in because that was part of the game. It was like a role playing thing. Now all of a sudden, the internet's more real than fucking reality. What you say on the internet is more real. It can affect anything. You could lose your fucking job over shit. And to me, that's mind-blowing. That fucking twist. Because I'm still in that troll mentality. If I see something, I'll spout off like that fucking... Like, grandma's wearing a red shirt. Kool-Aid man's busting through another wall or some shit. I don't even know this lady, but she's popped up on my feed in a fan. That's sometimes where I get in trouble. Like I come in always saying stupid, dumb shit because I can't help myself.
Well, the thing with social media is that not everybody in your life was supposed to see all your thoughts at all the time. I mean, if I like a big set of titties and I say that on Facebook, my aunt wasn't supposed to see that, but now she does, and she's probably gonna unfriend me.
That's true.
Which is fine. I mean, it is what it is. So, what does the future hold for Tim Loss? You keep doing these shows, keep grinding. You got any YouTube projects coming out? What's your main channel now? What's going on with all that, bro?
Oh yeah, see, I have fucking ADHD with an Emerald Degassi little sprinkle bipolarism in me, so I like to start tons of projects and not finish them. I've been on 4 podcasts, been fired from 3. So, pretty fucking hashtag release the DC Benny cut. That's a, but that's what's happening. So right now, what I'm focusing on is projects. I have a video project about Southern Illinois representatives and how much they quote Hitler and how they got voted in. So, and just that depressing tone of what really, and not being critical, just really showing the facts how it is. That'll be a Gossip Goulash goes political. Other than that, live shows in Southern Illinois, Missouri, Indiana, and Kentucky is where I'm staying now until shit gets more stabilized. Until I can figure out where gas prices are going, lodging. I'm not going to go further than that, just fiscally. Also, I know my shelf life's like milk. I'm going to spoil if I get too far away from home. No one likes that. So, sports balls. That's your Serge said, why do you not restart? You have to ask the other 4. I was fired. Actually, I started it all up. What was happening is you guys don't realize how hard Joey works on this shit. And that's why I'm so proud of it, Joey. Now, with me, I also had to wrangle in 5 wet cats of a comic that are usually drunk, high, or had horrible Wi-Fi and was talking in their murder shack in the middle of Centralia, Illinois, just like echoing as the sounds of inbred murder in the background. And so what happened with Sports Balls was I was spending almost 40 hours a week on it, and I thought we did a great run. I thought if we kept going any further, we were just over. We said all we needed to say. So I said, hey, guys, you can keep it going. You have my right on the name and everything, but I quit. And then after that, I actually don't talk. Gary Becker has stopped working with me. Bill Queen's a piece of shit. Suge Ray, I don't even know his name, but apparently I had conflicts with all these guys the last time, and I could roast them all. The only one I respect is Bill Queen. He kicks ass just because he really, truly is a guy who doesn't give a fuck, and I respect that. And Gerald, I still hang out with Gerald. Gregory, I don't hang out with him anymore. So it just broke apart. Like I was saying earlier, a mixture of working with a bunch of people just didn't work out. I did do part of my news with Andrew Starr, but that's what it was actually turning out to be. I'm not even gonna, I just didn't. I fell out of love with the project, if that made sense. And it's hard to have passion for it.
Once your motivation's gone, the passion's gone, it's done. That's why I tell people, like, oh, I'm going to take a break from YouTube. I was like, you better watch yourself. Yeah, 2 weeks to take off. It's going to turn to months. It's going to turn to 3 months. Come back. Oh, I'll just come back right, and then you're done.
Well, I was going to do a whole talk suit parody called Gossip Goulash. I really liked the first episode. But to put this in perspective, and this ain't for everyone, it's just how shitty I am at my job. That 10-minute, 11-minute video took me 50 hours to create. 50 hours.
Fuck that shit.
0 profit. And got banned on Facebook and Twitch. And YouTube didn't do it, but that means 2/3 of the platform were claiming ownership for it anyways or suppressing it. And Andrew was really cool. Andrew Starr just did. I appreciate what we were doing. Sorry, Serge brought up that Andrew didn't try to kill me. No, that's maybe October 8th. I don't know. What has he said? That should be the better answer. But no, me and Andrew are still tight. I just lost passion for doing it. Every time I set up a podcast, and this is maybe the inner workings of why I self-destruct. I feel bad that I'm taking time away from my family for something with no monetary gain, just to stroke my dick in front of some people. Because I feel like this is just like a me promoting me thing. And I could spend time with my family or something like that. So I ultimately feel guilty. And because I don't know how, I'm not mature enough to know what that guilt is. Um, I internalize it maybe as anger or self-sabotage. So I think that's a lot of my shit is self-sabotage. He has dreads, so I was just making sure Andrew Starr does have dreads. You know what that means. He will hate me soon. You just have to give him time. That bridge will be burned, guys. I'm not saying I'm not going to burn that bridge and be hated. It just hasn't happened yet. So that's what I tell people at every show. I can't wait to burn your bridges and have everyone hate me at the end of this. But right now, this is a lot of fun.
Well,
So, yeah.
the beauty of over here is that I smoke so much weed that I just I'm incapable of hate. And honestly, I like hearing everybody talk about themselves because I have no opinion on anything, so it's fun.
Well,
So
you kick ass. You
I
kick
do a good
ass.
job
We
over
always
here.
do.
We have fun over here, Tim. We have a good
Well,
time.
you're a big supporter of shout out to Dino. I'm not allowed to cross the border, so I'm allowed to say that. Shout out to Dino. But when we first started it says, well, you were one of our first guests. You're one of our big supporters going out, and highly appreciate that. You didn't have to do
I try
that.
to spread the love, dude. People might not realize, but I'm one of the most. I give more support. I'll give more love to than I'll ever get back in. It's just my nature. You know what I mean? I've been blessed to have a very fortunate life. I mean, I own a house. I'm a military terry. Get good government benefits. Got an easy government job. It's cake. You know, got a great family, et cetera, et cetera. You know, so I've been blessed in that regard. So I feel the need to spread the love a lot. You know, do I get carried with way too much? Sometimes, who knows? But I mean, I don't try to be too self-righteous with it. It's not like every other word's like, oh, I'm so good. I'm the best ever. I donate money all the time. No, I try to keep that.
I think what happened with me and Dino and Idiot Says What was we were keep trying to outdo each other comedically during the show. We had great chemistry, dude. I don't understand. And that's another thing I took for granted because I thought, well, fuck, I could do this all on myself. But the way we set each other up, I could never replicate with any other podcast. And that's 100%. That's another reason. I didn't realize, and if I could apologize, I didn't realize how much work he was doing on his side too. When I did everything on my own while doing the topics and everything, I felt like I couldn't be funny because I was just the host. So I was just more the setup guy, which made me feel unfulfilled. And when me and Dina were doing, I think we kept trying to outdo each other to the point it got to a boiling point and fever pitch that we were too nice too. We should have been like, hey, I don't like that. Don't do this. And been more upfront. We let that go to a boil till one day. This is what happened. He sent me a photo of something, what we were going to do that night. And I was like, that's fucking stupid. And the fight blew up from there. And we decided to move on. Now, Eargasm, they would say the same, oh, you're just, what happens in just the good old, I'm a stupid country boy shit. So I told him to eat my dick and fuck you and told him what was up. And you shouldn't do that to your boss because that will get you fired. Rightfully so. So I got fired. He's like, I would always start with all due respect. I don't think you're fucking funny. You can eat my asshole. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And
Yeah, that's where you just gotta throttle back on the.
Hey, you don't go.
If I was to give you one piece of advice, that's what it would be. But just don't take everything so personally. I mean, some come up here, if somebody says, "Oh, you're on meth," you're like, "Oh my god, yeah, the whole time I must be on meth," and you're freaking out. It just who cares? You laugh it off and roll with it.
Here's what I will say. This is what I take personal. When people who've never seen me do comedy critique me about comedy, and when people try to shut my business down. Here's why I take it personal. Motherfucker, I put up rent money and went homeless for comedy. I've given more to this fucking scene than I could ever do. I've given blood, sweat, and tears for the last decade of my life trying to promote these fucks that won't even piss on me if I'm on fire. And yes, I take it personal if you try to call my ex, harass me, or harass my wife, just because you want to get 5 minutes or look cool for your friends that hate me or some of this shit. No, you can eat my dick. And that's what I'll always say. I'll be on the pot. Sorry, Joe, this is the jumping tip coming out. And the guy who can't take criticism, 100% agree. But no, I'll still be here grabbing my dick, middle finger in the, I'm grabbing my dick right now. Fuck you. I'm going to do me. And I'm not going to accept that disrespect. That's 100%. And that's what got me in trouble a lot too, because a lot of people, whoa, what are we going to do? What if we don't? Hey guys, if I don't do comedy again, I get to spend life with my family and not waste my time in bars with a bunch of smelly fucking addicts. And I'll be totally pumped. Here's the thing. I've already validated myself. I'm funny as shit. Anyone who's seen me loves me. I'm doing it now because I like to do it because I'm old and I can't fish. I don't know how to make a fisherman's knot. I don't know what a fucking jig is. So this is my fishing. And as an old man that takes his fishing too seriously, don't fuck with me. You're fucking with my fish. I'm going to, like, that's how I look at it. Is it wrong? 100%. Don't do me. Just come watch me, is what I'm saying. You don't have to worry about everything else. All this shit we're talking about, too, only 5 people know about. I probably mentioned Dino, and this guy's like, why is he working with fucking dinosaurs? Canadian dinosaurs? Who the fuck's that? Like, but I also know that's just maybe the random first viewer and shit. So you're looking at me. My name, some of the running jokes, give it up to Serge for saying Tom Ross. That's my big joke. I come into towns and they don't get my name right most of the fucking time. I'm Tom Ross, Tim Louse, Tim Lose. Tim Lose. If you call me Tim Lose, you're not expecting this redneck motherfucker to step on stage. Like, that's really bad to get introduced like that. Well, did I attack wives or kids, though?
No, he's saying your people, the guy calling your wife at 3 a.m, that guy.
Oh, cool. See, I'm already defensive. You see me, I'm already counting. What's this fucking guy want? Like, no, to that. I do believe it's ridiculous. But who gives a shit? You move on. I told that guy what's up, and anyone who else, I'm just old school, man. I used to get hit for saying stupid shit, and especially if I did stupid shit to some guy's wife. And I don't do that. I can't afford bail money, but I'll at least tell you how much of a piece of shit you are for it. And that's another thing. People think when they see me in public, they're like, oh, he's going to run away. I'll stand there in the fucking pocket, call you a piece of shit. I'm at 35 years old. I ate cheeseburgers and pound 2 liters. I have no retirement. I don't plan living for 2 more decades. Fuck you. I'm doing me.
55 now?
55.
If you don't see Tim Loss before 2040, you're never going to see him again.
I'm reaching the speed limit and I'm gone. Highway speed limit.
What if I actually predicted your death there, bro? If you die in the year 2040, I'm going to feel real bad.
As long as I'm in the death pool, I won't. Just remember
that's true.
that.
That's another thing too. You got to pick some guys who die in the death pool this time, actually. So we'll see. So yeah, man. All right, well, I'm gonna call it here because I got to take a shit. I got to go to bed. So appreciate Mr. Tim Loss coming up. Check out Got Some Goulash and his other associated projects at timlosscomedy.com. In fact, check him out on Facebook. Any platform, he'll be glad to entertain your things.
I'm an old piece of
shit. He might tell you how you really feel if you make him pissed off. So just be careful.
I guarantee that. I send spoons out for people that don't like me. I send a spoon out to eat my ass with, because at least here's what I'll do, because I'm not a savage. I don't want you to go in there barehanded. I give you a tool to get the job done properly. Pinkies up, motherfucker. Get in there deep.
Tweedle. Hell yeah, guys. Thanks for checking us out. I don't have no clue who the guest is. That one girl from Office Space is in the queue. I got it. It's another person from Office Space, not Kenny Becker.
I'm fucking pumped.
Yeah, so I'll figure out what's up with that next, and we'll talk to you guys in the near future. Later, guys.